Hello guys, what's up? This is InkSlasher44, and today we are playing some Team Deathmatch on Summit, and this is episode 2 of Sticks and Stones Will Break My Bones, and I'll quickly start by talking about the gameplay. This gameplay is, as I've said, on Summit, and it's Team Deathmatch, but you may notice the little time in the bottom left-hand corner was a bit longer for my average Team Deathmatch. My average one is generally around 6 minutes when I do good. And the reason being why this one's a little longer is because most of the game we're up against 3 people that we absolutely destroy, by the way. So we're up against 3 people and I still destroy them. Like, it's almost constant action. I mean, there's a few slow parts, but like generally when there's 3 people, the game generally ends by time, not score. And in this game it ends by score. So I thought it was a pretty good gameplay that you guys might want to see. But this game, or this show, is not about the gameplay. It's about my ailments, I guess you could say. And this one is not a broken bone. It is not a cut. It is actually a sickness that I got in an inconvenient time. So, in April 2003, I was 7 years old, or 8, I'm not sure. I was in grade 2 at the time. And so we were planning on going to Hawaii in like about, I believe it was like halfway through April, and the reason being is because my uncle, twice removed or something like that, works in Hawaii and he's a condo there, and so basically we could stay there for cheap. And then my mom's boyfriend at the time worked in the Air Force, and he could get us tickets for flights really cheap. So we had a really cheap way of going to Hawaii, and who wouldn't want to go to Hawaii, right? So about 3 weeks before we planned on going, I started to get this cough, and the night that this happened, I remember very clearly we went to the Bay for dinner, and I don't even know if the Bay still has a restaurant anymore, but whatever. That's beside the point. So we go to the Bay for dinner, and I remember this very well, and I have no idea why I remember this very well. Actually, I do. I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good idea. You'll figure that out in a minute. I had French onion soup and a grilled cheese sandwich, and that's what you get when you're little, right? A grilled cheese sandwich. So I ate dinner, and this cough continued to get worse. When I got home, as I was going to bed, I kept on coughing, and I coughed so hard that I threw up. So at the time, we just thought I had the flu. Turns out I coughed so hard I threw up. And my grandpa, he's normally the kind of guy that's like, oh, you don't need to go to the doctors, you don't need to go to the hospital, you'll just get better. But this time, he was the opposite. He's like, you need to go to the hospital, you have pneumonia. Like, he diagnosed me before even a doctor did. And my mom and my grandma were like, no, he's fine, he just has the flu, blah, 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 right? And then later that night, I woke up and I was sweating buckets, because that's what happens when you're sick. You wake up and you're sweating. And then, so I'm sweating, and then I try to get comfortable. I can't get comfortable. And then I actually go to lay the other way on my bed. And when I do, my shoulders start, and by the other way, I mean, switch the ends my pillow's at, because that's what I did when I was little. I figured it worked. It doesn't work. It was just weird when I was a kid. So that's what I do. And basically, oh, by the way, right here, it's pretty funny. I knife people and they get mad. But anyway, so my shoulders really started to hurt. And when I told my mom that, she was instantly like, okay, we have to go to the hospital, which is really weird. That made her think we had to go to the hospital. But whatever. So when I get to the hospital, they start to do, actually, we'll talk about the way to the hospital. We didn't call an ambulance, and I couldn't breathe at the time. At all. Because I have asthma, or I did have asthma. I think I grew out of it, but I'm not really sure. So I couldn't breathe at the time, and my grandma and my mom came with me to the hospital. My mom was driving, and I was in the back seat with my grandma, and I kept asking her if I was going to make it to tomorrow. That's kind of a sad question to ask your grandma, because I just don't think a 7-year-old should be asking that. And the reason why is because I couldn't breathe at all, and isn't that an unfortunate time to try to call in my chopper gunner? But so yeah, it was bad. And then we get to the hospital, and the first thing they do is they give me an oxygen mask for about 15 minutes, and then I start to feel better. So like, alright, we need to go give you an x-ray on that shoulder. I'm like, alright. So we go get the x-ray on my shoulder, and it turns out that I had this in my shoulder. It looked like a big ball of fur in my shoulder. But what it was the phlegm buildup for my lungs over top of my shoulder. And I don't know why it built up there, but apparently it's really common when you have pneumonia. By the way, I just killed their whole team in my chopper gunner. So yeah. And then after that, this is the part that's ridiculous. I'm in the hospital, and they're giving me these masks that are supposed to get some of the fluid out of my lungs. And so they're giving me the first one, and I'm fine. I take the first one, and then as they're giving me the second one, I start to have an asthma attack, and me being a 7-year-old blames my asthma attack on the mask that's on my face. So my thinking is, I gotta get this frickin' thing off my face. So I start trying to rip this thing off my face, and the nurse that's dealing with me at the time is definitely not a nurse for children normally. She freaks out as I'm trying to take this thing off my face. You can't do that! And like starts yelling at me. And if you're a nurse out there, you know you can't yell at a kid when they're being treated. And then I start crying because she's yelling at me, and then she tells me to shut up. And first of all, nurses aren't supposed to say that, period. Let alone a kid that's talking, or a kid that's talking to a nurse that's talking to a kid is not supposed to say that. So that's not good. So anyway, they give me, eventually I take the mask, and then they give me antibiotics. I get better, and then we go to Hawaii. So we're going to Hawaii, the plane's landing, and my ears are just killing me. Like, seriously, my ears felt like they were going to explode landing on that plane. And we thought it just had something to do with the pressure from the plane and pneumonia. But about 3 days into our trip in Hawaii, I go swimming in the ocean, and then at night, my ears just start to ache so bad. And then, so, the next day, we end up going to a walk-in clinic in Hawaii. Thank God my mom bought travel insurance, because I'm a Canadian citizen. And then, so we didn't have to pay or anything. It was all on travel insurance. And then, turns out I had an ear infection, supposedly from the water, but I think it had something to do with pneumonia. But whatever. So I have this ear infection. It's not good. And the next day, actually, after we went to the clinic, they gave me some drops, and it was totally better. Like, I didn't even notice it the rest of the trip. It didn't hurt when I was landing in Canada, and everything got better. So I hope you enjoyed that crazy story about me and my crazy ears. And I believe a video is going up on Machinima today as I'm making this, of me and Evan playing some Minecraft. So if you found my channel through that, thank you for subscribing. And I don't actually know if it's going up today, but I'm just assuming because he has a slot on Thursday. But yeah, so thank you if you subscribe for that. And I don't normally do COD. This is gonna be a Friday series, so if you guys like the series, every Friday it'll be on. And then I'm doing the Forgotten Cave 3 on my channel now. And yeah, so I'll link that video on Machinima in the description if you guys want to see it. So until next time, guys, I still have like 30 seconds left. So I guess I'll ask for you guys to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this series. My final score is 36-4 against 3 people, which I think personally is pretty good. But if you guys don't think that, then screw you. So until next time, guys, have a great day and peace out.